Suspected killers of wedding travelers arraigned in Jos. Supreme Court affirms Okpebholo's election as Edo governor. Igalo fault verdict. University of Jos student protests demand better living conditions. And on the foreign scene, more migrants arrive as Greece suspends asylum applications. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update on Trust TV. My name is Idris Baturi. Now, the Plateau State Police Command on Thursday arraigned 22 suspected killers of wedding guests who were killed in Mangun community in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. 13 of the travelers were killed, while many others were injured in the attack by suspected mobs while on their way to Akwa community in Akwanpan local government area of Plateau. The victims, comprising 32 men, women and children, were traveling in an 18-seater bus from Basawa community in Sabongaru local government area, Kaduna State, to attend a wedding ceremony when they ran into their assailant. Arraigning the suspect before the State High Court, the prosecuting counsel, S.I. Ikutanwa, sought the court's permission for the suspect to take their plea on the 4-count charges. However, the defense counsel, Garba Paul, objected to the plea application, saying that 2 of the 22 suspects were minors, which rendered the charges incompetent. Justice Nigyo therefore ordered the accused persons to be remanded in police custody and adjourned the case to Friday, July 11, 2025, to enable the prosecutor to amend the charges. Now, Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Governor Monday Okpebholo of Edo State. In a unanimous decision delivered on Thursday, a 5-member panel led by Justice Muhammad Garba dismissed for lack of merit the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate Asureme Ighodalo. The appeal sought to nullify the outcome of the governorship election held in the state on September 21, 2024. The Supreme Court ruled that there was no justification to overrun the concurrent judgment of both the Court of Appeal and the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which had earlier declared Okpebholo of the All Progressives Congress (APC) the valid winner of the election. The court held that the appellant failed to prove credible and admissible evidence to support his claims that the election was marred by irregularities, including overvoting and substantial non-compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act.
My party members, don't be disturbed. Don't be sad. It's painful, it's hard that our hard-earned victim has finally been confirmed by the Supreme Court. But unfortunately, this is the last bus stop. And we urge you, let's remain united for the journey of nation building, or making a goal prosper. It's a long walk. So this is just a hurdle on our path. Let us not begrudge anybody. Let us stay united. Let us stay peaceful. Because the future for all of us is very bright.
Now that this is over, we thank everybody. And most importantly, we want to go back to build our state, to unite everybody in line with what the government believes in. We want to bring everybody, regardless of the political party, we want to bring everybody together in the interest of Edo people.
Reacting, the 2024 People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate in Edo State, Asue Ighodalo, has condemned the Supreme Court judgment which affirmed the election of Monday Okpebholo of the All Progressives Congress (APC) as the governor of the state. Shortly after the ruling, Ighodalo said he felt a deep sense of betrayal by the decision of the Apex Court, arguing that what played out on September 22, 2024 was a deliberate and coordinated robbery. He alleged without proving evidence to back up his claim that the governorship election was rigged in favor of the APC candidate and incumbent governor. Ighodalo stressed that while he accepted the finality of the Supreme Court judgment, he cannot pretend that what was delivered amounted to justice. Also reacting to the judgment, the former governor, Godwin Obaseki, says he has left the legal outcome of the election in the hands of God to deliver divine justice. In a statement, Obaseki said while he believed that the election was won by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Asue Ighodalo, and other supporters of the party were around by the verdict, of the apex court. Now, hundreds of students of the University of Jos on Thursday morning staged a peaceful protest over what they described as deplorable sanitary conditions of their hostels, calling on the school management to take action. Trust TV reports that the protest, which began in the morning, saw students block all major entrances into the university campus, grounding academic and administrative activities of the university. The students said they wouldn't vacate the gate until the head of the university's cleaning department provides them with proof that hostel cleaners have been paid to enable the cleaners clean their hostels. According to the student, the protest was sparked by a worsening sanitation crisis following alleged non-payment of the cleaners for several months, forcing them to abandon the hostels. They allege that hostel cleaners have not been paid for several months, resulting to the suspension of cleaning services, leading to an environmental overflowing of uncollected waste and a soak-away system that has begun seeping into their drinking water supply. The university was yet to respond to inquiries from journalists at press time.
And we submitted it on Monday. So we should give them 2 weeks to work. You get it? You know that I used to in my hostel, I used to give the women.
Now, suspected bandits have abducted 3 persons, including 2 palace administrators, and set several houses on fire in Bunyun community of Basahar district in Wase local government area of Plateau State. The paramount ruler of the community, Abdulrabiu Abdulbari or Muhammad, confirmed the incident to Trust TV, explaining that 2 palace administrators, Waziri and Wakili, and his younger brother were abducted by the bandit. According to the paramount ruler, the bandit attacked the community on Wednesday around 7:30 p.m., shooting sporadically in the air. He added that the latest attack may be connected to the clash between vigilantes and bandits on Sunday. Abubakar Zuveru, a resident of the area, confirmed the incident, saying the community was deserted on Thursday morning following the Wednesday's night attack. Authorities are yet to issue a statement on the attack. The Nigerian Army's 223 Light Battalion Zuru has repelled a large-scale attack by bandits on Riba town in the Danko local government area of Kebbi State. The assault, which occurred on Wednesday, involved over 400 heavily armed bandits who attempted to overrun the town. While some managed to retrieve the corpses of their fallen comrades, several bodies were left behind along with a cache of recovered weapons. Director of Security in the Cabinet Office, Abdurrahman Zaga, confirmed the development in Birnin Kebbi, commending the bravery and resilience of the Nigerian Army. He noted that although the attackers initially posed a serious threat due to their large numbers, the superior combat skills and determination of the troops shifted the momentum in favor of the military. Zaga also commended the swift intervention of the Nigerian Air Force, whose fighter jets provided critical air support by bombing fleeing bandits and inflicting heavy casualties. Suspected herders have killed 1 person and set over 100 houses ablaze in a farming community in Karim Lami, the local government area of Taraba State. The community Bandawa Gwenzu, which comprises Gwenzu, Langwanshin, and Danzan, was attacked on Wednesday night. Speaking on Thursday, the youth leader of the community, Ishaya Peter, described the attack as unprovoked, barbaric, and condemnable. According to him, residents were seated and discussing when they suddenly heard gunshot from afar, a situation that made them scamper for safety. The Taraba State Police Command has yet to respond to the latest attack. The Adamawa State Executive Council has approved over 496 million naira to recapitalize the Adamawa State Health Supply Management Agency to address the proliferation of substandard and fake drugs. The State Commissioner of Information and Strategy, James Ilya, disclosed this to newsmen shortly after the council meeting presided over by Governor Ahmed Fintiri. According to the Information Commissioner, the fund to serve as a revolving resource is aimed at supporting the attainment of universal health coverage in the state. Commenting on the initiative, the Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Felix Tangwami, said the state transitioned from the Essential Drugs Program to the Drug Management Agency last year, in line with a national policy backed by legislation.
In today's Adamawa State Executive Council, in its 13th meeting, 9 July 2025, the Council has approved the award of contract for the construction of road network, landscaping, and installation of solar lights at the Yola South newly constructed market at the sum of 2,997,993,805 naira 35 kobo only.
The supply management agency will be able to contact directly companies. The National Council on Health came with this program because of what is happening. At times, people are given substandard drugs. At times, they are given fake drugs. At times, they are given poisons instead of drugs. Commodities are purchased anywhere. People that are not qualified to even supply drugs and manufacturing companies are supplying commodities that has become so dangerous to the health of our people.
Now moving on to more stories, Nigerians have expressed disappointment with the continued rise in cement prices, despite earlier promises by major manufacturers like Dangote, Bua and Lafarge to reduce costs. In Lagos State, cement buyers and sellers are lamenting the unstable pricing of the product, which they say is negatively impacting their businesses. Trust TV's Victoria Tokolo, who visited the Ife-Dapo Sand and Block Market in Ifako-Ijayi, brings us more in this report. Her report is presented from our studio.
In Lagos State, the cement market remains volatile, with sellers complaining of low patronage due to minimal price reductions. Manufacturers had earlier promised a significant drop in prices, but buyers say the change, an average of only 5,000 naira per bag, is too small to make a real difference. At the Ife-Dapo Sand and Block Market in Afako-Ilaye Local Council Development Area, sellers and buyers told Trust TV about the current price situation, comparing it to earlier rates and highlighting how it's affecting their businesses. Despite public commitments from producers to bring down prices, many say the expected reduction is yet to reflect in the Lagos markets.
Well, we get three types of cement here. We have Dangote, we have Lafarge, we have Spasek. So model for Ewekuru. So we have everything here. We are okay with it. So some people are saying the cement price is high, but we are getting cement here 10,000 naira. 100 naira difference between Elephant and Dangote. What we are taking now is the bag. The bag, immediately that we are carrying the bag, we normally go all the time. That's the challenging that we are that we are taking now. And those sales price, the price is too high. Customers they are complaining about the price too much.
But Elephant, Spasek, that is the market that is moving in our yard here. So during rainy season now, we have a dull market now because due to rainy season.
Elephant cement and the price, the previous one was 10,500 and the current price is 10,000 naira. Well, people complain about the price, that the price is too expensive, it's too high. But they are buying share, they are patronizing us, and we thank God.
Here we are buying cement now. Elephant cement is 10,000 naira and delivered to site is 300 naira per bag.
Sellers and buyers alike are calling on the government to intervene and ensure effective price regulation of cement, especially considering that most of the raw materials used in cement production are sourced locally.
Now, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has met with the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills, over the recently introduced visa procedures by the U.S. government for Nigerians. Tunji-Ojo disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday, a day after the U.S. announced a major change to its visa policy for Nigeria, reducing the validity period and entry allowance for most non-immigrant and non-diplomatic visas issued to citizens. According to the minister, the gathering was aimed at strengthening ties between Nigeria and the U.S. through a well-structured visa framework. He said the recently introduced visa procedures by the U.S. government for Nigerian nationals were discussed during the meeting. Tunji-Ojo said that the U.S. ambassador provided valuable insight into the revised protocol and its alignment with established practices to uphold the integrity of the visa process. Now, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has advised the newly inaugurated members of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria Governing Board to prioritize infrastructure development at the nation's airport. Keyamo gave the charge while inaugurating the board on Wednesday in Abuja. He emphasized that modernizing airport infrastructure was essential to bringing Nigeria's airport up to world-class standards in line with international best practices. According to the minister, such effort will significantly enhance passengers' experience, safety, and overall security in the aviation sector. Keyamo also stressed that passengers should remain the focus of all operations, urging the board to prioritize service delivery, customer satisfaction, and overall airport experience. Chairman of the newly inaugurated FAN board, Umar Ganduje, pledged that the board will promote effective institutional governance and support the minister's effort to advance the aviation sector.
Together, let us work towards elevating the standards of our aviation sector, improving connectivity, fostering economic growth, and ultimately enhancing the quality of life of all Nigerians. Aviation is a global industry. As such, we must foster partnerships with other governmental and non-governmental agencies, international organizations, and the private sector to grow our aviation economy.
We are sharing in conjunction with the executive management, we should ensure passenger increasing expectation, passenger satisfaction, and this one too is changing, it's dynamic.
And now in business, investors are weighing the potential impact of U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs on global economic growth, a move which steadied oil prices on Thursday. Brent crude futures were up 4% at $70.23 a barrel by 6 a.m. WAT. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell 1 cent to $68.37 a barrel. Supporting oil prices, however, is a weaker U.S. dollar in Thursday's Asia trading session. A weaker dollar lifts oil prices by making it cheaper for holders of other currencies. On the demand side, macro uncertainty has led to a more cautious buying environment, particularly in Asia. Now, away from Nigeria, over 500 migrants arrived at the port of Lavrio near Athens on Thursday after being intercepted south of the island of Crete, as Greece implements emergency measures to address a surge in Mediterranean crossing from Libya. Consisting mostly of young men, the migrants were transferred overnight aboard a bulk carrier after their fishing travelers was intercepted by Greek authorities. Service vessels help bring them ashore at the mainland port. They will be sent to detention facilities near the capital. Their transfers to mainland Greece was ordered because makeshift reception centers on the island of Crete has breached capacity, with roughly 500 new arrivals per day on the Mediterranean island since the weekend. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis announced that Greece will suspend asylum processes for migrants arriving by sea from North Africa for 3 months. And now in sport, Nigeria's Super Falcons can book an early quarter-final ticket in the competition if they get all 3 points against Botswana on Thursday. Nigeria record AFCON winners beat Tunisia 3-0 on Monday to begin their quest for a 10th continental crown in Morocco. A win in their second Group B game, however, will be a giant step towards that goal, reaching the last 8 of the competition first. Goals from Asisa Toshola, Rinsola Babajide and Chinywedu Ihezuo ensured Justin Madugu's team got a winning start in the Women's Championship. The Super Falcons, parading a team of experienced and youthful players, will expect to extend their sterling form when they file out against the Mars of the Larbi Zuli Stadium in Casablanca. Ahead of the match, Madugu, whose side defeated the last Africans in the last edition in 2022, says the team taking the competition one game at a time. And with that, we have come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries.